Hey guys, welcome to another manga vlog. Decided to get some early morning gaming in on the Switch 2, playing some Cyberpunk, and gotta say guys, it is so good. Cats were very chatty this morning, always wanting food, never satisfied. Usually on these Saturdays, we usually stop by a coffee shop. If you've seen some of the past vlogs, you'll recognize this location called Joy Bar, and it is pretty good. There was a Christian group that was giving out free tacos, free donuts. So of course I had to get some breakfast and eat some tacos. And gotta say, they were pretty good. They hit the spot. Yeah, I don't know if they had these Dune graphic novels here at the library last time, but they look pretty cool. I have a buddy who is obsessed with Dune, and he would love these. One of these days, I might get the Persona volumes. I loved the 5th game, Persona 5, and Doors Chaos. This looks like a really cool cover. It's a Tokyo Pop series. It's got that early 2000s art, it looks like. It looks pretty cool. Might have to get that sometime soon and check it out. And Gentle Noble's Vacation recommendation. Finished the first one. Might have to check this sucker out and see how I enjoy it. Maybe give it the 3-volume treatment to see if I continue it from there. But I think I'll pick it up. Got some Seraph of the Ends. That's a series at the very beginning when I tried getting into manga that I read the first volume. Never really continued it. There's an interesting shoujo series. Of course, got some Skip Beat. Tokyo Revengers. I think most of this stuff was here last time. They still have not increased their manga collection yet at the library. I think, though, I was talking to one of the ladies, and they said that they would do it soon, that they actually have bought a lot of manga but haven't properly prepared it yet to put on the shelves. There's some Spy Family. Love that series. My wife and I have watched the anime and are ready for the next season when that decides to come out. Good old Rene. I might have to get back into Rene at some point. All right, this manga caught my eye. Look at this long name. That is probably one of the longest names I've seen in a manga series. It took up the whole spine. Looks pretty interesting. All right, here is where I'm gonna get 2 more today. So Magi Volume 5. Man, I've been loving this series and the series below it, Mangas to the Library. I'm going to go ahead and read as much as I can from the library before I start picking up the volumes at, say Barnes & Nobles or online, just to save some money. Listen, I don't have deep pockets, so Any way I can get them, I'll read them. Of course, got to get the 4th volume of Book of Friends. Such a good series, man. Does anyone know any other slice of life yokai manga that's out there? If you're aware of any of them that are like Natsume's, please let me know in the comments. I would love to check it out. Fruits Basket. Maybe I'll have to get into this manga. My wife and I have watched the first episode on Crunchyroll. Gotta say, it's pretty good. I can see why people like it. And we're excited to dig into it some more. I see some Haikyuu, and this series kind of stuck out to me. Heaven's Design Team. The art looks pretty good, nice and colorful cover arts and spines. If anyone knows what that's about, let me know in the comments. Okay, and there's some Komi Can't Communicate. I've heard some great things about the series. I had a subscriber recommend it to me as well. So, always love to see some good series. Oh, case closed. I'm so sad I haven't gotten anywhere with that series yet. All right, Blood Blockade Battlefront Volume 2. Man, I loved the first volume. All right, guys, we are back from the library. Let's go ahead and go over everything that I decided to get today. All of these series, or every single volume I have here, is a continuation of things that I started, funny enough, from the library. So, and I'll probably see through most of these to the end, as much as they have there. So first things first is A Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation, Volume 2. This is a Tokyo Pop series that is a pretty good fantasy isekai about a noble who is taken from one world to another, becomes an adventurer, and meets a lot of good friends along the way. It does have some, it's not a BL, but it is Tokyo Pop, so it definitely has some some sussiness going on between a lot of the guy characters. So I'll finish this one, and we'll see. Maybe I'll get into the 3rd volume, or I may call it here. But that's the first one we got. The second one is Volume 2 of Blood Blockade Battlefront. Just made a short on this Volume 1 on this series, and it's just really good. I love the art style, the early 2000s vibes. It's extremely creative. The writing, I think, is phenomenal, at least with the quips and the banter between the different characters. Really good action, and just in general, a creative modern day fantasy. So, all right, Volume 4 of Books of Friends. Natsume's Book of Friends. You guys know that I love this series so much. Such a great spiritual slice of life series. A very chill read. And I really like the mangaka. I've noted this before, but she has these little blurbs that she talks about the chapters. She talks about what's going on in her life, daily life of a mangaka. And she has them throughout these volumes. And it just makes me feel like I know, the mangaka personally, and how that she includes it. So now this is a longer series, and I do plan, I think so far, to catch up with it. I think it's in like the 30s right now. So I love how this has continued since I think the earlier 2000s. And the mangaka in this series definitely has a lot of or a big following. So looking forward to getting into Volume 4. Magi Volume 5. Most of you guys know this OG shonen series. I really love the world building of this one. I think this volume and the next volume have some of the best world building. They're up there with some of the best world building, I think. Now this one, is more of a historical shonen series. So the world building is has some ties to the real world Middle East, but still, it's just really good. I love the characters, and it's a pretty good shonen. So lastly, we have Maga's the Library Volume 3. I am determined to get caught up with this one. I think there's about 8 volumes out. Maybe if I need correction on there, y'all can correct me in the comments. I think there's only maybe about a volume comes out a year. I think it's a chapter every couple months or 3 months. So as you can tell, The art and the detail and a lot of the little like notation bubbles that give a lot of details of the world throughout here, you can just tell it's written with care. And like these little things right here. I mean, like, you know, in normal series, you like, you know, the mangaka doesn't need to put all this information about the people groups, the places, like different like year tags, things like that in the series. But because these guys, or whoever the writer is, let's see, is Mitsu Izumi, they have so much time to create each chapter that they just fill it with such good detail. So very, very good. I mean, just look, I love it. It's really like you're reading a book at times. I will for myself, this is probably going to be the longest volume that out of all these volumes, I'm probably going to take like double the time to get through this one. So yeah, let's see if Theo, the main character, becomes a librarian in this one, or if this is all about him trying to overcome the librarian exams. We shall see. And I already noticed some of these characters we just got introduced at the tail end of the last volume as other test takers. So let's see how many of them pass, or how, or you know, at least how they do through this exam process. All right, guys. Well, that is all of the manga that we got today. Like I said before, these are all series that I started originally that I got from the library. So I'm excited to see how many of these I finish to completion. I'm definitely gonna try to read as much Natsume's as I can. They still don't have Case Closed Volume 3, and I really want that one. I don't want to have to buy it online just yet. And they're not in bookstores, of course, because it's such an old series. They just have like the newer ones, like in the 80s and in the 90s, for Case Closed. So maybe they'll find their third volume over at the library and I can check it out. We shall see. I do have, there is a volume 3 at this Japanese cafe that's somewhat close to us, that you may have seen in our last week's vlog. So maybe I'll get it there and just read it while I'm, you know, sipping on some coffee, eating some food. Anyways, but guys, if you enjoy content like this, vlogs like this, just let me know down in the comments. And if you have any recommendations of things I should check out, feel free to leave that down there below. And if you would, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And I am going to get to reading. Thanks, guys.